Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming back to D.Up Chanel's 48 World, where we do my Bold and the Beautiful recaps and reviews. Today, we're going to be going over the Bold and the Beautiful that aired from Monday, May 8th, and I am going to say, welcome back, Liam. Welcome back, my Bozo the Clown. Okay? We don't call him Bozo the Clown because he's on a straight and narrow course and he's playing that role I used to love for him to play when it presented itself for the right and appropriate situation. He's going back and he's going to get into his daddy's behind again about morality, about ethical behavior, and all that good stuff. So I'm down here for it. Just as long as we don't get into female male relationships and Liam is involved, I think I can call him Liam now again. Of course, his wife is still bought and paid for because she's still showing some unethical, managed behavior when it comes to another human being. I mean, we all have our faults. We all have our shortcomings, especially when we're dealing in relationships. And everybody needs to be loved, especially the ones that want to be loved. Especially the ones such as myself, always seem like they're getting the short end of the stick. But I will prevail, and I will say love will end it. You know what I'm saying? It would be the best for everyone to still have love in their hearts for everyone, even if it doesn't come out to be what we want. All right? So that's all I got to say at this time. Now let's get on into the bold and the beautiful. Of course, we're recapping from Friday's episode. We have Rusty Dusty. He was always be Rusty Dusty. Y'all know him as Ridge until he shows better man mentalities for the positive. Okay. But Rusty Dusty is asking Logan's run, which is Brooke. You know, she always gonna be on the run. So the writers play something good for her to just be in a relationship and just stay in it. Period and point blank. God, dog. But anyway, they're there still at Elder Gino or something like that. That Italian restaurant that they seem to all congregate from time to time. The whole family look like. But they're there and Rusty Dust is pretty much telling her, hey, tell me how you feel. This is the last calling card. This is the last close for the curtain, just closed for good. Last curtain call, honey. Okay, so she pretty much said Bill is right. Instead of her just saying, look, this is how I feel. This is how things gonna work out. Move on. But she said, this is how Bill feels, and I feel too. Yes, let bygones be bygones. I'm gonna be with Bill now. You go find somebody else, and that's how it's gonna be. So, of course, Russell Dusty gotta ask for his one last hurrah or last moment with his beloved Brooke or Logan's Ron or Logan. I call Logan's Ron. And Bill said, oh, hell no. No, you're not getting any more time along with my future wife. You're not going to get anything. No. And I kind of respected that in Bill. Yes, have security for your woman. Okay, stand up for her. You don't hurt her for the last time, but it seems like further on in this episode, you're going to do some hurting yourself and some bad moral decisions that you're trying to hide away from Brooke. You're telling her half the truth, but not all the truth, Bill. And that's going to be a consequence you're going to have to pay later on. But anyway, we go to CJ. CJ comes over to see Bill about the building, and Wyatt is trying to get CJ to come back because Liam is there. And he's trying to figure out all the comings and goings that definitely Wyatt and Bill have been keeping from their brother and son. Okay? So then we have Thomas comes back to tell Steffi, or bottom paid for as I know her, what he did and what's gonna happen. And of course she don't like it. All right, she getting on him big time. Then Carter comes back to solidify everything that Thomas had told bottom paid for previously. He confirmed all of it. He said that well no, I went too far. He comes back to tell the judge that Eric Forster is the person he really works for. And he decided that after hearing what Thomas had did for Miss Spectra, he would no longer be pressing or wanting to press charges, criminal charges that would put the young lady in jail because it would serve no purpose. You know what I'm saying? Taking her whole young livelihood away when she can do other better things, but she just won't be practicing in Spectra fashions no more. Definitely won't have the revenue to revive it. So everybody's jumping for joy in that whole office scene. And of course, the judge told them they could go because there's nothing else that they can do as far as prosecuting her criminally, since the other party don't want to proceed. So that was a good thing for Miss Sally, and she owes it all. to the Lord. Okay, as well as Eric and Thomas. Okay, so we just put it like that. We move on. Okay, we have Liam. He's still confused about what CJ is talking about. CJ leaves on Wyatt's insistence. And of course, Wyatt tries to smooth everything over, tries to say, it's this, that, and the third. And, Liam's little like, something else going on with this, or you wouldn't be trying to cover it up, so smoothly. And but, Liam's trying to figure everything out. And Liam is talking about ethics and morality. And then, of course, why he cut from the same cloth Bill is. He don't want to hear about all that stuff. So he really knows something else is going on. He gonna find out. And he enlists the very one person he needs to get all the information from. See, Foster Clyde, he just crazy. He ain't stupid. He just crazy. And he just crazy when it comes to women and making the right decisions. Like that old white man had told him a long time ago on a plane when he was taking Ivy back home. You just not fit to be married. You just need to be single, because you just like women. And right now, you don't need to be settling down. So I think it is going to come something or another with that relationship again. But that's far off. Hopefully it won't. But you know how the writers, they got to have their speed or a particular subject, spot, and scene. Okay. Move on from there. We got Brooke Tales Ridge is over. But Rich wants a last minute talk with Brooke and Bill denies and said, no, 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 too much, go on. So he leaves. Then Carter comes in to tell Steph he's back at Force Corrections now about everything that went down, and she still believes, meaning Bottom paid for, believes Sally should pay. So I'm like, I thought you had a heart, Steph. You got married, you're in love, you planning a future with your husband for us having a baby and doing all this thing. At least I think you are. And then he's giving you the right to run be president, CEO of the company or part half owner of the CEO position, and you still want to draw blood from somebody. I mean, come on, Steffi. You've made your bed. You must lie in it too. You done made your share of indiscretions. I mean, come on. It's been a fun rivalry between the Spectres and the Forcers forever. Forever and a day. Why stop it now? Anyway, moving on. Bell is out of jail for now. Meaning, if she don't break ties with Shirley, meaning Grams, she could be weak enough to get into another impaired judgment, fooling with these shady deals and business opportunities that her grandmother wants to get into. Okay, her grandmother's stuck in the past. Let her stay. But Sally, break away, honey, before you get into another situation. Break away. Then Sally tells all of them she don't wants to partake in any celebration because they really can't afford it. And she really sits down to tell Saul and Darlita she's grateful for everything, but she's mostly grateful for Thomas keeping her out of jail, but they don't have no money. This is over. This is the last hurrah. We're finished in the fashion industry anyway. We have nothing. So all I'm looking up there looking stupid. Then we have Bill and Brooke are still at the restaurant talking over their future together. Bill is telling Brooke as soon as he can secure a certain deal he's working on to contain a certain property, they get married. I'm like, why, Bill? You can go and take your jet, fly wherever you want to go, get on your yacht, sailing where you want to go. Go, marry your Brooke. You won her. You done conquered her. Go on, do that, and then come back and start some mess. But no, he said, business is business. See, he has the same little mess that Rich, Rusty Duster, thrives on. Gotta take care of my business first. Gotta do this first. Everything other than marrying who they say is their lifelong partner. Instead of being true to that, they want to always go for that old dollar. That old dollar, 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 which fits appropriately Dollar Bill's what do you call it, nickname they've given him in the world. He got to secure that dollar. I'm like, okay, okay. So anyway, that's where we leave that situation. We go back to Sally. Sally tells everyone she's leaving town. There's nothing left, and they're all looking shocked. Bottom Paper is trying to tell Thomas to put Sally in the past, to move on and don't look back. He's having a hard time doing that, and she sees it. Then we have Liam is asking Jared to tell him he has summoned Jared, y'all. So he got the right person to tell him everything he needs to know about this shady deal that his brother Wyatt and his dad, Dollar Bill, is trying to keep from him. Okay, Jared like I said, he summoned Jared to tell him what did his dad tell him to do to get Spectral Fashions to have to give up their business so his dad could acquire it. And Jared's looking all stupid, like, "What? You don't know? Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if I should tell you, but this is how it go." So we move from that situation. We have Sally calls Thomas. She thanks him again over the phone, but she wants to see him in person before she leaves, and he also wants to do that as well because it's going to come to a point where he's not going to let her leave. Okay, it's time to put on your big panty drawers or whatever you call them for men, boxers, Thomas, and start leading the way instead of being called. Follow the leader. Take a hold of your woman. Tell her you're there for her and prove it. Show and prove, Thomas. Show and prove. Okay, then we have Wyatt is calling Bill and telling him the good news that he think he finally got CJ to understand that they're going to close this deal, this, that, and third. But he also goes on to tell that Liam has gotten some knowledge of the conflict of interest that is going to be a part of acquiring Fashion Spectrum. And of course, Bill's trying to tell him cover for them. Don't let them get too invested in any of that, what we're trying to secure, and that be that. I'm like, father like son, sins of a father. Okay. Then we go back to Jared and Liam. Jared tells and shows. Yes, Jared comes, he proves and shows what he's capable of doing. So he tells Liam he did not write that article. He shows Liam the article that he did write. Then that deduces a lot of information. And Liam said, "My dad wrote that article, didn't he?" And of course, Jared looking like, "Well, hell, I didn't write it." And yes, you're right about that. So he said he damaged this girl's reputation, made her feel lesser than to promote her to go to a downward spiral and do the thing that she didn't want to do, but she followed in her past legacy that she was trying to escape from due to my father putting the lighter or giving her the gun that was loaded and gave her to pull the trigger because of certain circumstances she was going through. If that was an emotion, then she never would have done what she would have did. Or she never would have did what she had done, I should say. I'm sorry, guys. But it just is what it is. So it's all making sense to him. He was like, "Oh, no, no, no. No, this is very ethical. I'm business behavior. No, we're not going to do this. He's not going to do that." And I'm like, okay, see, that's why I call him Liam again, because he's standing up for what's right. Okay, and it has nothing to do with relationships between a man and a woman, and I'm honored for that. So good writers for letting Liam turn the tables on his dad. Yes, Bill, it's time for you. You gain something, now you're finna lose something. Those are the consequences. You shouldn't have messed with Sally Spectre in the first place, because she wasn't messing with nobody. She's just coming out with her own style, her own vision. And Jared kind of found it refreshing, but you didn't want him to do his thing. So Liam gonna have to do his thing on you. Okay. Sins of a father, I tell you. Then Bill tells Brooke he plans on buying the Spectre Fashion House, building slash property, but he doesn't tell her what he did to try to acquire that property. And that's a bad thing, because even Brooke was like, that's the end of an era. She's kind of sad. I said, "Honey, you're going to be, I don't know why you keep falling for these men that really only care about money and power. And of course, sex and women, or a woman they are chasing, is always at the latter end of that spectrum." Okay, so I can't tell you, it was pretty exciting today, and I really enjoyed it. And then y'all, I'll be back tomorrow, God willing, for more bold and the beautiful recap and reviews of my favorite soap opera show. Talk to y'all later, guys. Blessings. Bye bye.